Are you struggling with knowing what to do and what to say and what to give your clients when you do a staging consultation, an occupied staging consultation? Or maybe you're struggling with wondering what that staging report or that client action plan should look like? Well, I have some tips for you. Hi, I'm Audra Slinky, president of the Home Staging Resource, and I'm so excited because we have been moving a lot of our forms and goodies that is inside my staging and redesign certification into Canva. That's what you're seeing on your screen right now. Canva is a free kind of imagery tool, marketing tool that really makes it easy to edit and change things and makes things look so much more professional than if you did Word or anything else, frankly. So we actually just added inside my training for all my members. So if you're one of my HSR members and you're watching this is good news for you and some reasons why we have this in our staging report, so you should take note. But we have your staging report now in Canva. Here's what it looks like. And what I'm going to walk you through in this kind of post and video is the 10 things every good staging report should have and the reason why we have them in our report. Now, in this Canva template, this is our shortened one. My members have a shortened one and a longer one, but they can really delete pages, add pages, do whatever they want with it. And we want them to obviously put their own photos and things like that, and obviously put their website address and their information, all that good stuff. So let's really talk this through. This is kind of what you use when you're walking through the home with the client during that first consultation. It's an occupied home. This is not an empty home. So this is a home with stuff in it, and you're telling them all the stuff that they really need to do to get that home prepared to sell so that they make the best price possible on the sale of their home. These days, when those sellers spend money on that home, they are getting huge returns in the upside. Why? Because buyers have an expectation and they really want to walk into a model home ready home. A lot of times those sellers are competing with model homes and new home builds all across the country right now because home building is hot. We have such a shortage of homes. So this is kind of important to emphasize for the seller. So let's talk about number one. Number one, your staging report should have a cover page. See that cover page? Why, you may ask? Audra, do you have a staging report cover page? Well, the reason why we do this is because we also give this image to our members in the training where we took this cover page and pages of the report and we layered it, and our expectation is you're going to put this in your brochure as something that you give. You're going to give this to your realtor partners so that when they go and they give a listing presentation and they talk about why choosing them as an agent versus another agent, they're going to say, here's what my stager does. She comes in with a full report and dials in your home with you. You're going to use this imagery on your website and all your other materials. And why would you do that? Because we are in a visual industry. So why not show what makes you special and different? The average stager does not have a detailed, nice looking report like this. They hand the client a notepad and say, have at it, take notes, which, hey, that's fine. Especially if you're a busy stager, great. But that's not when you're a new stager getting into the industry. If you're new or if you're just getting started, you want to have that competitive edge. You want to look better. Well, this kind of imagery will definitely make you stand out. And if you're an agent going, wow, my stager doesn't have anything like this, well, you might want to contact an HSR certified stager. I'll include a directory link below. Okay, let's get back. So that's number one. You want that cover page. Number two, this is page number 2. Hopefully you can see that okay. You might need to go big screen. But basically, I'm kind of reiterating, I'm setting expectations. So you may think you've told them or you've set expectations on what to expect in the consultation or in the staging process. But remember, this is a seller. They may have never had used a stager in their life. So I think it's important to do a timeline. That's what we have here, where you can set the expectations for what we kind of do in this process. It starts with a consultation, goes into staging day, then you have your professional photographer, and then that's how you get the best price, right? So you're actually walking them through that expectation even in your staging report. And then further down, I always talk benefits. Why does the staging benefit them? And you may say, why are you selling, Audra? In the staging report, they're already sold. You're there for the consultation. Why do I do that? Is you may have already emailed them this information, but this is a staging report they're always going to be referring back to and using as they're slowly transforming their home. It's good to have that cover page reminding them why they're putting in the work, right? Key points, you're going to make money. Here's some great statistics. And so I would include some huge statistics. If you're looking for statistics, our website has kind of the most updated statistics you can find in my blog. So hopefully go there to look for them. But I think it's important to set those expectations. That's tip number 2. And number 3, include statistics and talk about why staging benefits them. That will give them the motivation to do your checklist. All right, so that's 3 tips. 4th tip of these 10 tips, have a process. Now, when somebody goes through my training, there is a process. It's 8 steps in each room so that buyers feel home when they walk into your home. Now, that is a process that the sellers can get behind because it reminds them that it's no longer about them, it's about the buyer. And as part of that process, we have kind of this we do a quick walkthrough, and this is the sheet we use. And this sheet also reminds my stagers, especially if you're brand new, to take those before photos. See photos, checklist in each room. So again, sometimes your staging report will be good to not just show your client your process, but also to remind you of what to do next. That's why I always say when somebody goes through my training, the 3-week training, they walk away completely confident because a lot of that confidence comes from the structure and the process they have in every situation. I have a very specific structure and process. Now it's their business. They can do however they want, but builds their credibility and it creates confidence so that they walk in the home, they don't walk out going, oh shoot, I didn't take a before photo of that room, or oh shoot, I didn't say this, this, and this, and I meant to. It's part of the process. So that's tip number 4. Tip number 5, and this is on page 4 of the staging report, is a priority list. Now, there's more to the staging report. We're going to go room by room as you walk through with your client, but it's important to put those top priorities right in the front because a lot of times the clients are going to be overwhelmed, right? There's a lot they need to do. And so sometimes it helps. So here's what I want you to start. Here's the top priority. You don't want them to focus on the things that aren't as important. So put those priorities right up front. And I always, in that priority list, talk about positives of the home that we're trying to highlight. So we frame, again, it's phraseology. That should be actually tip number 6. I'm adding actually extra tips here, but it's important that when you phrase the changes and things that you want to make in the home for them, that you couch them in the reason why you're doing it. And all of those reasons usually have to do with we're trying to highlight some positive features of the home while distracting from anything negative or dated. So we kind of talk about that in our priority list. And we also talk about who we are staging for. Again, what is our buyer demographic? And that again just builds your credibility and it reminds them that this is no longer about them. We're staging for who we think is going to buy that home. So we want to walk them through that. And then again, we walk them through another timeline that staging, frankly, is done in 3 stages. Phase 1 is using what you have. Phase 2 is shopping or rentals to complete the look. By the way, your report's going to talk about that. And phase 3 is cosmetic improvements. So again, you're reminding them and educating them on the processes of staging so that they get the best price possible. All right, number 7. That kind of brings me to tip number 7, educate. We are going to be educating. Even in your report, that may seem redundant. Maybe you think, Audra, I already told them. Or, hey, I have this really fancy brochure. I already sent them. Don't assume, again, that they read that brochure or they read anything that you send them in an email. They will read what's in your report because it's right in front of them for the next 2 hours as you're walking through the home. All right. Number 8 tip. 7 was educate. 8 is have a checklist. So now that we're going room by room, I'm breaking this up, but in each room by room, make sure you include an easy checklist. Why put checklists on your room by room pages? Because for readability, no one wants to see flat paragraphs. No one wants to see empty lines where they have to write everything in. I do this, excuse me, whew. I do checklists because also I want your consultation to go fast. So you can get really familiar with the checklist. You can actually, any one of my stagers, of course, you can edit, delete, change, however you want for these checklists. Checklists will help them read it better. It'll help you walk through, and it'll help you so they're just checking or highlighting and not necessarily writing everything down for each room of the home. Number 9. Okay, I think I'm going to move this list to 15 points. And you can see how important the checklist is. I think it's important in number 9 that you write what you want the focal point to be in every room. I think that's important. And then also asking the clients what was the year of their latest updates. Why do we do that? Because that kind of, again, brings you into why we're going to talk about cosmetic improvements, especially if that kitchen hadn't not been updated in 50 years. Right? Or that light fixture, or that, so that's why the staging report should mention that in a checklist format so that you can say, I'm going to give you some good ideas of some good updated light fixtures that will work well in your space. And if you've taken my e-design training, you might link to your side door where you're making money on what they buy. Maybe. That's a whole other training. Anyway, not a really other training, but that's in my training. I walk you through how to make money in other ways. All right, so I'm losing track of my tip, so I'm just going to bring you to the next tip, and that is have beautiful photo examples. Do you see that? We put photos for every room so that they can see what they are shooting for. Obviously, we tell our stagers, swap those photos out, go put your own photo. You can just slide it in there, but we put photos in every room because we want them to see what we are shooting for, and that is important. Again, we are in the visual industry. Make sure you put those photo examples. That's tip number 10. Tip number 11. I have this, as I'm scrolling down, I'm going to show it to you. This is kind of in the shortened list. I have a complete for the main living area. Put a packing list, a priority pack list in there. Put a shopping rental list. By the way, this is a good idea for something for you to fill out while they're going through the checklist of stuff. And then also have a phase 3, what I call phase 3 in my training, cosmetic recommendation list. Have that pulled out and separate, not necessarily on each page for each room, because that way they can see it like that. You can do it on each page. In our long report, it is like that, but that gets kind of long and unwieldy. It's really easy for you. Again, you want to be listing the shopping rental list. So that's, that's tip number 10. 11, your cosmetic changes list, because definitely there's probably going to be paint and things like that you're going to want them to do. Okay, so we're scrolling through and you see kind of really briefly on all our reports, but I always think it's a good idea to give people a little bit more than what they asked for, right? Why not be better? And if you are better, you will be busy. So we include at the end of our staging report, and it's a good thing, why not give them some of your recommended vendors? Add on that list, fill it out. Why not give them some showing instructions, some quick showing instructions? My members know I have a whole beautiful, brochure template for an open house checklist, but why not include that here on that staging report? It's just kind of a next steps for them. And why not help them out with, how to organize closets, help them out with how to pack, loving what you have. I have a whole 3 steps to how to pack, how to really declutter. It's like speed decluttering and packing, because this is overwhelming for them. So why not include extra tips? You don't have to, but it's just a nice thing to do. And then finally, I think this is those were kind of tip 12, 13, and 14. Tip number 15, have a next step. So for my next steps, what you expect after that consultation is you're going to get in there for a staging day. After they've done the cosmetic improvements, they've had you do all the shopping for them, or you've given them your vendors for the cosmetic stuff. And then that's when you're going to go in and do all the tweaking prior to the photographer, right? We want to make sure it looks perfect for that photo day. So I always have at the end of the staging report, your home preparation plan, so they know how to get that home, make sure it's ready when I get there for the photo day, meaning professionally cleaned, everything's clear, all the items on our list has been done, and all of the beautiful things they shop for is maybe on the dining room table for me to style. Hope that helped you. But more importantly for my members, jump in here, get your Canva template, edit it to your heart's content, and use this imagery because you're going to look great, great, great. If you are wondering or thinking, maybe I want to become a stager, I hope you decide to come aboard. It is an amazing industry. You will absolutely love it. I have so much to teach you and so much to say, and I'm absolutely here for you and your support. If you're a new stager and you're thinking, oh gosh, I don't want to have to create all of that, guess what? It's all created for you. My whole philosophy is never reinvent. This is all in my HSR certification in staging and redesign training. So you can purchase that or actually purchase that and easily get that Canva template along with a ton of other Canva templates I give my members, from brochures to business cards to flyers to handouts. Everything is, and to statistics. I mean, it's all in there in Canva. So it's so easy for you to quickly edit, tweak, print, and not recreate the wheel. And finally, if you're an agent thinking my stager does not do this and you want a stager that does, look for the HSR certified symbol. Somebody who's been through my training will have access. This is the way they work. And hope you enjoyed this post, and I'll see you in the next video.